Well. We have another day here, and thank God for it. Yeah, the notification is just going out now that Pastor Sunday Adelaja is live now. So I have to see who is going to be the first person to come on to join me today. Let's see who is the first person to appear on the screen. Who will first tell us who he is and where he's coming from. I can't see your name. I see your like. Masunder, God bless you. Where are you watching from, Ma? Will you tell us where you are from? Oh, Lola Shorunke, you are the second one. You are just about to be the first one. Ushe, blessings. If you could tell us, Pastor Irene, yes, I see your name. Maria Martinez, blessings. Fonge, good morning. Kyle, from Ontario, Canada. Wow, that is very early morning in your place. Of course, Lady Showroom came from California. Gloria, blessings to you. Well, Mara started saying, I am from, but I don't see the place where she's from. Feli, Bosse, Jumik, United Kingdom, blessings. Shigoze, God bless you. Omeza, Abdul, Benga, Coral, Shobanke Emmanuel, Adetumbi, Esong from Netherlands. God bless all of you. Good morning. Fleur Matip from Paris. God bless you. Nice to see you too. Okay. Ma is from Canada, from Winnipeg. Okay. Kyle. Not sleeping yet, Kyle. Kyle is probably somewhere in the United States, right? That's why it's 3 o'clock in your place, I guess, at this time, or 2:30. Blessings from Lagos. That's from Joshua. Fortune from Durban, South Africa. Blessings to you. Kelly, good morning. Ezekiel, Excel from Dubai. Wow. Salako, good morning. Terence, hi. Ikifa, good morning from Canada. Saskatchewan. That's your name, that's your region. It's been difficult for me to pronounce all along. Saskatchewan. Malaysia. Wow, I can't see the name of the person, but I could read the Malaysia. Indonesia. No, I should be able to read the name of the guy from Indonesia. Bambang from Indonesia. Ajayi. Blessings. That's Bishop Ajayi, I guess. Freeman. Hi. Sunder. Again, saying hallelujah. Ezekiel, James, blessings to you. Felix from Nigeria, Yola, David from Qatar, Fakolade, blessings from Ukraine. Who is there from Jakarta? Krishna from Jakarta. Of course, Nkiru. How are you doing, Nkiru? That's my best mate. Nkiru is my best mate. Can you believe that? And we are still together till now. We are still together. Best mate. That was how many years ago? 3 years ago almost now. Caesar. Hi, Pastor Caesar. This is from Caesar from Manitoba, Canada. Wow. Okay. Aja. Watching me from I don't know where. Maria, thank you, Maria Martinez, for reminding me that we need to share the message. Please, before we start the message today, let's go ahead and share it because it's going to be explosive. Once the message begins to go on, you will not have the time to stop and go and share. So let's go, all of us go out now to our share button and press it. And if you cannot see your share button right now, go back to your timeline. You see the share button there on your front page and share it because once we take off, well, I bet you will not have time to go and be looking back to share the message. So you want to go and do it now, okay? You want to go and share the message right now. Let's go and do that. Well, I'm here to see Yetunde because Yetunde is a champion of our shout, but she's not here yet. Fleur says she shared already. Joshua shared already. Ushena from Los Angeles is saying hi. Thomas Olayinka from London greeting us. Victor Ogundikwe said he shared already. Okay, Onyeka says, greeting us this morning. Fiona Kara from Alaska. Wow, Akajame is from Bali in Indonesia. That is amazing. Ewa, good morning, Ewa. Abasi Freke, good morning to you. Well, we're ready to go, I guess. I will greet the others, I guess, later. So today, let me tell you the topic we are sharing today. Today, I'm talking on the topic, the power and force of discipline. The power and force of discipline. So, we are going to be talking about discipline today. Because behind every success, underlining every success is discipline. There is no human being that has attained anything in life or that has become anybody in life without the great power of discipline. Discipline is the foundation of every achievement. Discipline is the foundation of every success. Discipline is, it doesn't matter what you want to do, be it spiritual life that you want to attain success in, you need discipline. Be it business life that you want to, where you want to arise and attain success, you need discipline. Is it in physical health that you want to attain success, you need discipline. Discipline is absolutely unavoidable, indispensable, and something that you cannot do without if you want to be significant on the earth. There is nobody who rises to any height or to any position of significance without the power of discipline. So in discipline, there is power. In discipline, there is a force. That when you master discipline, when you discipline yourself, when you put your body under your subjection, under your own control, when you are able to tell yourself that this is what I want to do and I don't want to do anything else. When you don't allow your life to be controlled by other people or circumstances around you, that is discipline. When you have a goal and you put a goal before yourself and say, I am not diverting, I'm not going to be distracted, this is what I'm going to do and nobody can stop me, that is discipline. When you, of course, when I talk about discipline, it doesn't mean that you will never default or you never fail. If you are not going to default and fail, then you are not a human being. All of us are human beings. You are going to fail many times. You are going to default many times. But the real thing that we're talking about here is the ability to hold yourself in your hand and be able to push it and keep on pushing it. You will fail, but keep on pushing it. If you fall, rise up and keep on going forward. So that is where the power is. If you are able to discipline yourself, if you are able to hold yourself in the hand and tell yourself what you want and then commit yourself to it, you will discover that there is a power in discipline, the power to help you accomplish, the power to surmount mountains, the power to make impossible things possible, the power that will help you to change and transform yourself and your life, the power that will help you to put the forces of nature under your power, under your authority, the power that will make the elements of this world to be subjected to you, the power that will cause you and make you to arise above all litigating circumstances in life. That is the kind of power that discipline has. So discipline has got a power. And that's what I'm talking about today. The power and the force of discipline. You see, when you are disciplined, there is a force that begins to work in you. There is a force that breaks down the walls. It breaks down the walls of opposition. It breaks down the walls of resistance. Because you are disciplined, that power gives you and causes a force to come out of you. Like, for example, let's look at someone like Usain Bolt. Now, for those of you who don't know Usain Bolt is the fastest man that has ever lived. He's not just the fastest man alive today, but he's the fastest man that has ever run the 100-meter race. And so what does that mean, fastest man? To run fast means to overcome resistance. When you are running fast, it means, the wind and the force of nature is resisting you, is fighting against you. And for you to run faster means to run faster than all other people who are also fighting against the same force. So what makes Usain Bolt and others to run 9 seconds, 100 meters in 9 seconds or 10 seconds? Some of us will not be able to run 100 meters in 12 seconds. Even in 13 seconds, some of us will not be able to make it. We will force ourselves, we will run, we will do everything we can. But to run below 12 or 13 seconds, we will not be able to do it. Now, why have they been able to do it? Why is it that Usain Bolt is able to run, under 9 seconds, 100 meters? It is because he had disciplined himself, and through the power of discipline, he was going to exercise and work on himself 2-3 times a day, going to practice, going to exercise. So that practice is that discipline that he has been subjecting himself to. That discipline creates in you or in him a power for him to run faster and faster, so much that power is now stronger than the power of nature, that the power of resistance that is trying to stop him. So, but the discipline does not just create in you power, it creates in you force as well. It gives you energy to push back anything that might be standing on your way. So there is a power and there is a force in discipline. When you, for example, if you discipline yourself to read books, and you read those books, because of the knowledge you are gaining from that discipline, from that exercise, that knowledge and that that character, that resistance, that what do you call it? That stamina that you are building in yourself. That stamina is what we call power. You have the stamina to stand. You have the stamina to take in. You have the stamina to understand. That stamina becomes an added value to you. That stamina becomes something that expands you. It stretches you. It makes you bigger. That stamina and that power, that force that discipline gives to you is what we call value. You are adding value to yourself each time you discipline yourself. Each time you discipline yourself, you are adding power in the area where you are disciplining yourself. Each time you are disciplining yourself, you are adding to yourself the value of force. Force to break down all resistance. Force to break through every opposition. Force to make things happen when other people cannot make it happen. The force to make you forge ahead when other people stop. And when people are feeling life is difficult and everything is resisting them, they cannot go ahead in life, and life is so difficult, life is so tough. That force of discipline makes you to shatter all those arguments. The force that you are working with, the force and the energy in you makes you to break down all those obstacles. So when people will be talking about life as being difficult and life is tough and life is difficult, you don't even know what they are talking about, because you are already built in yourself such a stamina. Through discipline, you have built in yourself such power, such force that you are able to surmount basically every problem in life. Now let's look at the life of a biblical hero, David. David was a man of discipline, extreme discipline, because can you imagine, as a small lad, he is the one that was supposed to be, out there in the street playing and just wasting away his time and not disciplined. And his elder brothers were the ones who were supposed to be running after him and, disciplining him and telling him that, David, what are you doing? Come face your business. Come do what you need to do. But he was so disciplined that when even his more matured brothers are refusing to go and attend to their deeds and to their chores on daily basis or to their business, he is the only one. I mean, out of how many children, seven or what, he will be the only one going to the field, even though he was too young to be a shepherd and he was too young to feed and take care of the cattle, but he will discipline himself. He would obey the parents. He would go ahead and do what they required of him, while the senior brothers, the big brothers, were just playing around. So that discipline, what did it do in him? Is a time of discipline a wasted time? Some of us think that when we're exercising ourselves in discipline, it's just a wasted time because you don't always see the result immediately. But thank God, because of that discipline that David had, it led him later on to challenges. So that is one thing that you need discipline for. You need discipline not just to see result immediately. No, discipline prepares you for challenges. And discipline, the thing with discipline is that when you are disciplined, when the challenge comes, you have the force and the power to surmount and to shatter all those positions and the resistance that is before you. So in the case of David, when he saw the bear coming, He had already disciplined himself by walking so many kilometers, I'm sure, to the farm, by, carrying the sheep and carrying the cows and carrying the cattle, and by just, he has exercised himself. He had the strength and the energy already. So when the bear came, and bear is a very strong animal. Bears are strong. I live in Russia, so I'm sure you've heard of the term the Russian bear. Bears tear people in pieces. I mean, bears could take a man. One bear could take a man and break his spinal cord. That is the way they normally do. They take you, grab you in the neck like this, and grab you in your waist, and just break your spine. And that's how they kill people. That's how they kill their victims. So that's what bears do. But for you to be able to hold the mouth of the bear and stretch it and break it, or the feet of the bear and resist it and kill it, you have really exercised yourself in strength and in energy, in persistence, in perseverance, in stamina, in power, in force. So that is the kind of force that discipline creates in you. That's the kind of power that you discover in yourself because of discipline. So discipline leads you to the formation of power in you. Discipline leads you to a formation of not just skills, but also energy, and also a force in you. A force comes into operation in your life because of discipline. So because of that discipline of taking care of the sheep and cattle, he was able to overcome the bear. But then, because of that discipline he had, and because of the experience he had to overcome the bear, so the next time when a lion came, he was able to overcome the lion. What is that coming from? That is coming from a life of discipline. Discipline creates in you a power, an amount of power, a sizable amount of power. Discipline creates in you a force. That's why I'm calling this message today, the power and force of discipline. So now that the whole country was now facing a challenge, and they didn't know what to do with Goliath, but because of the life of discipline that David had lived, even a king and a warrior like Saul, you didn't know, like Saul didn't know what to do. He backed out from facing Goliath. And because he was looking at his physical size, because he didn't have the discipline, the inner discipline, to discipline his mind, to discipline his emotions, to put himself in order, and to, the power of the focus that David had, that king didn't have it. The same thing with his brothers. His brothers who are not even disciplined enough to take care of the sheep, who are not disciplined enough to go to the farm, of course they will not be disciplined enough to fight the Goliath. If you are not disciplined enough in little things, you will not be disciplined enough to face your Goliath. So the thing that will make you to face the Goliaths of this world is the power of discipline. And it's not a once in a while discipline, but the discipline that you are practicing every day. The discipline that you are subjecting yourself to on a daily basis is what prepares you for the bear, is what prepares you for the lion, and it is what prepares you for the Goliath. So discipline is necessary for you to surmount the challenges of your life. Discipline builds in you power. Discipline builds in you a force. Discipline builds in you stamina. Discipline builds in you energy, the energy that you need to surmount and to shatter every resistance, every opposition that comes your way. So even though, yes, the Goliath had more strength than David, but this time he didn't need the strength. He needed mental strength. That also takes discipline, because when he confronted Goliath, Goliath was trying to attack him. He was saying, "Who are you?" So you called him a dog and all kinds of names to confront me, a warrior. That is a mental warfare right there. But the discipline to even carry himself and discipline himself and carry his load and go to the farm every day, that creates in you some mental discipline. Sometimes mental discipline is more important than physical discipline. So that mental discipline, Goliath didn't expect that someone as young as David will have that mental discipline. So, but he was prepared. He had the mental discipline, and he was able to confront and win that battle of the mind that Goliath threw at him. And so once he had won the battle of the mind, it was easy for him to win the battle of the physical physical battle. And that's what happened. So every kind of discipline that you exercise yourself in daily. For example, let me tell you my own story. I never knew that I would become a pastor at this point. I knew that I was called to be a minister, but I was in the university. I'd even not, I'd forgotten about the call. I know it at the back of my mind, but I needed to study. So when I was in the university, my professor had challenged me and told me that I would never study the Russian language. I would never speak the Russian language. I said, wow, you know what saved me? I remembered I called back. I fell back on you must have something to fall back on. And when life is tough, when challenges are thrown at you, sometimes the only thing you have to fall back on, apart from God, is discipline. So when the teacher told me that you will never study Russian language, you will never speak this language, he said, I'm a professor, I know what I'm talking about. I've trained all kinds of people, but your own is the worst case. You will never speak this language. And I just said, my God. So, of course, the first thing I did was to go and pray. And I remember the scripture that my sister had given me when I was a young man in Nigeria. This time I was 19, but that was a year before then. My sister showed me a scripture in Deuteronomy 28:13 that you'll be the head and not the tail. I was saying, God, you've said I will be the head and not the tail, that I will even teach my teachers in Psalms. And now they said I will not pass this school. I will never learn this language. So I said, I stand on your word. So that is a discipline to refer back to God and to refer back to the word of God. But as I was quoting that scripture and saying, God, I need your power, I need your grace, God told me, even if you are going to quote this scripture all day long, till Jesus comes back, you will still not pass that exam. I said, so what else do I need? Remember that you need to work hard. You remember the lesson that you learned in Nigeria? And there was a lesson that I learned in Nigeria that geniuses are not given birth to. Genius is not by birth, but people become genius. You become a genius, you are not born a genius. So, and that it is the way to become a genius is to work hard. It's hard work is the womb of geniusity. So genius, the womb of genius is hard work. The mother of genius is hard work. And the father of genius is hard work as well. So I just said, okay, from today on, even after 6 or 8 hours in the classes, I will go and spend another 6 hours in the library. I said, so from that day, for the next 6 years, every day from Monday to Friday, it doesn't matter how long my classes lasted, for 6 hours or 8 hours, I will spend 8 hours in the class. And when everybody is going home or going to the restaurant or going to relax or going to play, I will carry my bag, and it was always very killing. I was always feeling dejected, and so, try to pity myself, and everybody is enjoying life. I will be the only one in the library, and I will go to the library and sit down there for another 6 hours, and I will normally finish only after 9 or 10 at night. If I feel hungry, I will go and eat there. If I feel like sleeping, I will take my head down like this and sleep for about 5 minutes or 10 minutes and continue. No, if I feel sick, I will still sit down there. So I forced myself for the next 6 years to sit down in the library and force myself to study. But you know what gave me that force and that energy? The discipline that I had developed in my village when my grandmother used to take me to the farm. I'm sorry. Without shoes, I used to go and carry and fetch for firewood. There is something in Africa they call firewood. Firewood is, we go and fall trees down. We fell trees and dry them. And I will go there in the morning. I will have to go and arrange the trees and then make them into firewood and take them from my village and walk to the bigger city, Ijebu-Ode, 1 kilometer or 2 kilometers away, to sell them and then go to school quickly. And after school, I have to go, before I could eat my lunch, I had to go to the farm again, get my firewood, and then after that, I have to go and do my pap. There's this corn custard. I need to go and get my cassava and make that as well. So that discipline, I didn't know it was for good for me. I used to curse my grandmother. I used to be angry at her. I used to just think life was difficult for me and that God didn't like us, that God hated us, that God was not fair. I didn't know that God was making me into a man that I am today. Oh my God. So when my teacher told me I would never learn the language, God told me, remember all the suffering that you have to go through, all the discipline that you have to go through in the village. And God told me if you could survive it in that village, remember the sun, African sun is so, it could be very destructive. African sun is very crushing. It's very scorching. And I used to be in that sun at least 6 to 8 hours every day. And God told me if you could survive it in that kind of situation, and you didn't die, and you came out of that village, why do you think you will not survive it in a library here where there is aircon in summer, in a library where there is, when it's cold and it's cool and there is heating system, why will you not survive it? So I threw my trouble, my past discipline, I threw it at the challenge that this professor threw at me. I said if I could spend 6 hours in that bush and under the sun, I would be able to spend 6 hours here under the cool, very comfortable, atmosphere or condition of library. So that's what I did. So for the next 6 years, I never left that library. 6 hours in the class, and then another 6 hours in the library. So 12 hours every day studying and pressing myself and pushing myself. What that did for me, though, eventually, is that I never knew I would become a pastor. So when I eventually became a pastor and nobody wanted to come and listen to me because I was a black man in this country, and, it's very difficult. It used to be very difficult that time. It's much more easier now. But that time, they just used to think it's an insult for a white person to go and listen to a black person. So I just said, God, you called me to this work. And I just remembered my discipline again when the professor told me you will never make it. I remember those 6 hours in the library for 6 years. And then I remember those my years in my village again. I just said, okay, this is another challenge. I would discipline myself to pay the price it would take for me to be able to get a breakthrough with these Europeans. You know what I began to do? I began to pray from that day. I began to pray for 4 to 6, minimum 4, because I was still working. I was working, and then apart from my work, I would pray for 4 to 6 hours every day, minimum of 4 hours, average 6 hours on daily basis. I did that, for the first 4 years of our church. And, I got a breakthrough eventually. God led me to victory. But you know what gave me that? The discipline that I developed in that village when I was walking barefooted, no clothes, when I was carrying those firewood on my head, when I was going from house to house to sell the pap, and you call it pap, but it's actually corn custard, and the disgrace, the shame, that mental prowess, that stamina that God built in me those years, they later helped me to finish my university. And I finished as the best student in that university in the history of the university. I finished first class with distinction. And it was the best in the last 25 years of that university. And then that discipline also, for the next, what I did as a pastor? I also said, okay, even apart from praying 6 hours a day, then later on I started another thing. I started, taking 1 week away from my, you have 4 weeks in a month. So I would take 1 week away and lock myself inside the room. No wife, no children, nothing, no brother, no sister, nothing, no contact with external world. I would lock myself inside the room. I still do it up to now. And I will be praying for between 14 to 18 hours every day and reading and studying. And so I did that. Can you believe it? For 15 years non-stop. I never missed one week. So I would take a whole week, 5 to 7 days, and just go and fast and pray, no food, nothing, for 15 years straight. And I would be praying like that. So that discipline of my village, of my shadow, so when you see the kind of result that you see, we're able to build the largest church in Europe, and, the only man in the world that is having, 99%, for congregation and followers that are white Europeans now. That is my record. And, the biggest church in the continent. And then, I've done what no human being has done in Europe. In the last 200 years or 400 years ago was the last time people built this kind of church in Europe. And then for a black man to have done it, nobody has ever done that in history. No, I mean, I'm the only African, as far as I know up to now, that has ever spoken to the U.S. Senate. I've spoken in the United Nations. And people are thinking, where is that all coming from? Well, that is coming from the background of the discipline that I've developed over the years. Now, being disciplined doesn't mean you are perfect. You will not be perfect everywhere. You will fail sometimes. You will fall sometimes. You will get disappointed at yourself sometimes. But at least the amount of discipline you have will give you some result. But unfortunately, many times when we talk about discipline, we are thinking that we are only talking about, self-control and focus. No, discipline is more than that. So let me give you a few tips about discipline. And so things don't just happen, but the basis for every success in your life is discipline. You've got to start. And the greatest amount of the greatest discipline that I've discovered for myself is to be alone. The greatest discipline is to lock myself. Is the hardest one. To lock yourself up in a room and not see a human being, not talk to a human being for a whole week, and just talking to God and studying and reading. That is the hardest thing I've ever done. And do that for 15 years straight, for a week, not just for one day or two. That is the greatest discipline I've discovered. And then next to that is not even when you are locked up alone, but the discipline to just sit down alone and study. Even though then it becomes enjoyable, studying is people say, what's your hobby? I don't have any hobby. The only hobby I could mention is just study. Just to be alone, even not lock yourself, just to be alone and study. Oh, if I could just read. That's one of the hardest discipline possible. But that is one of the greatest one also, because when you are doing that, you are developing yourself. You are developing yourself mentally. You are developing yourself spiritually. You are developing yourself in stamina. You are building your muscles spiritually, emotionally. You are building your muscle mentally. You are building your muscle you are adding value to yourself when you are studying, especially. That's the greatest amount of discipline that I have discovered. Anyway, let me give you some concrete points about discipline. Number one, the thing about discipline is this. You might choose not to discipline yourself. You might choose to be soft on yourself. But let me tell you something. If you refuse and reject discipline and you are easy, you take life easy. You are easy on yourself, not just even life. If you are easy on yourself, life will be tough on you. Remember that. If you are easy on yourself, life will be tough on you. Let me say that in a different way. If you are, on the other hand, if you decide to be tough on yourself, not on others, but on yourself, then on others, of course, but if you decide to be tough on yourself, life will be easy for you. If you have taken yourself through the rigor of discipline, no matter the challenges that you face in real life, you will be able to surmount them. They will look easy. That is the thing with me. Like the lady I called my best lady in Kiru, she's here with us now. She's hearing me. She will tell you, she's living in Ukraine as well. She will tell you all kind of problems and troubles that I have come across my life. All kind of accusations, all kind of attacks, I've fought the demons of communism, KGB, principalities of communist governments. I've fought communist people, socialist people, people that were brought up to be wicked, to destroy people. I've fought all kind of demons in this my life. But they are not easy, but they are relatively easier than the process of discipline that I had to go through on a daily basis. It is the discipline that I've got to make myself to go through that have helped me to come against and to be able to challenge and overcome all the challenges I've gone through in my life. So discipline, if you are hard on yourself, if you don't pity yourself, if you refuse to pity yourself and hard on yourself, it is not punishment. It is not suffering. It is for life to be easy for you. If anybody that is hard on himself, life will be easy on them. But anybody that is soft on themselves, life will be hard on them. If you would discipline yourself and pay the price of discipline, then life will not have to discipline you. But if you will refuse to pay the price of discipline, self-discipline, to discipline yourself, then God will use circumstances and other people and situations and life itself, the element of life itself, will begin to discipline you and to break you and to make you suffer hard. So you better pay the price of discipline by yourself and be hard on yourself than for life and the world to be hard on you. So, well, that's one point I would like you to know and remember about discipline. Number 2 point that I want to give to you about discipline today is the biggest amount, because the biggest purpose of discipline, one of the biggest purposes of discipline is to change, is to effect change in yourself first before you try to change circumstances. But you know, people who have not asserted the discipline upon themselves to change themselves, people who have not been disciplined enough to create and produce change in self, they fail to produce change in others. You know, I've heard many pastors and many leaders who complain and eat it on the head of their members and always attack their members and say, oh, you don't want to do anything, you are so lazy, you people are not this, you are not that. They just hit their members on the head because their members are not changing, because they cannot do anything to make their members change. Well, I know where the problem is in that case. If you cannot get your members to change, it means that you have not asserted enough energy, enough discipline upon your own self. It means you have not lived a changed life. You have not, done too much of changing yourself. If you have asserted so much discipline upon yourself to always and constantly change, it will be easy for you to also create change and bring about change in your members. It will not be difficult for you as such to make it will be difficult, of course, but you will still be able to attain change in your people. But if people who cannot change themselves, people who have not trained themselves to always change, to always, improve themselves and change and be changed all the time, they cannot change other people and they cannot change circumstances. They will not be able to change and surmount challenges and circumstances they face in their life. So to be able to change circumstances that you face, to be able to change the challenges and situations, conditions around your life, you simply need to start by changing yourself. You need to change before you could bring about change. Only a changed man can bring about change. That's one of the reasons why I believe in the new Nigerian government. When you see a disciplined man like Buhari, I know people are angry at him now. He will be able to bring about change. Only people who are disciplined can bring about change. But people who just let anything go and they just live anyhow they want, they will not be able to bring about change. So now, let me tell you something else about discipline. That's number 2. I said number 3, discipline involves pain. So discipline involves change, but it also involves pain. There is nothing you can do about that. Discipline requires pain. Discipline is painful. But let me tell you something about pain. Don't be afraid of pain so much, because there is always going to be pain one way or the other. When I was growing up in Nigeria, I was never taught that pain is inevitable in life. Because all of us, and that's why I was a poor student initially, because I didn't know that life requires and demands pain from all of us. I didn't know that pain is an inevitable thing. I didn't know that pain is indispensable. I never knew that you cannot do without pain, that pain is just normal. But the only thing, because all of us in Africa, go and find people in Africa, everybody is trying to run away from pain, either from the pain of poverty, or from the pain of discipline, or from the pain of hard work, or from the pain of diligence, or from the pain of focus, or from the pain of, labor. We are trying, if not just in Nigeria though, but in Africa, but I think everywhere, people try to run away from pain. But the thing is that there is no attainment, there is no greatness in life without pain. And that is the same thing as discipline. Actually, discipline is synonymous to pain. But let me tell you something about pain. There is no way you avoid pain in life. There is no human being. Either you are a president, or you are a son of a president, or son of a billionaire, or you are a billionaire yourself. There is no way you avoid pain. No human being escapes pain. But the only difference is some people engage themselves in what I call voluntary pain. Voluntary pain. What is a voluntary pain? And a voluntary pain are the pains that you take yourself through. Voluntary pains are the pains that are the pains of, let's say, the pain of discipline. Like you say, for example, you say you want to study. As a student, you discipline yourself to study, to do your homework, to do what you need to do and study hard and become the best student. Is it painful to study hard? Yes, it's painful because other friends are playing, your boys are going to work and everything, but you are they are going to play and, discotheque and enjoy life, but you are sitting down at home alone and discipline yourself. That is painful. But those who are just enjoying life, they don't want to go through the pain of self-education and, doing their own work in school. You know where they are now? You are in Europe now, maybe, or you are in university now, or you are in Sussex now. But those people who are just playing about drinking and smoking and using marijuana in high school? You know what most of them are doing now? They are sweeping the streets. They are carrying wheelbarrow. They are working as laborers. Life disciplines them. Life, that is called a forced inflicted pain. That is the pain that life inflicts on people. That is the pain. So there are two kinds of pain. The pain that you subject yourself to, that is voluntary pain. Or the pain that life subjects you to. And the pain that life subjects you to is the pain that you cannot avoid. Voluntary pain, it is your choice. You make a choice to go through that pain. But the pain that life subjects you to, the forced pain of life, you cannot escape it. That is the pain of poverty. People are complaining about poverty all the time because they have not paid the price of learning the loss of money. So the pain of poverty is much more forced pain. It's much more painful than the discipline it takes you to learn the laws. Or the pain of being a street sweeper or a laborer, or to just be poor and not to be able to take care of your family, not to have a good house or a good car. That pain is much more painful than the pain to have studied hard in high school. In my church here, I teach people that there are two forms of pain. The first pain, the voluntary pain, is only 2 grams. I said it is 2 grams of pain. So 2 grams of pain is nothing. It's light pain. It is voluntary pain. It is, it is not so painful pain. But the forced pain, the pain that life subjects you to, is 2 tons. Can you compare 2 grams to 2 tons? The pain of life, the pain of the pain of the forced pain of life is 2 tons. Why the voluntary pain is 2 grams. It's just like saying my wife, she likes to eat well, and she's so disciplined in eating right. She's diet freak. Now my wife tells me about why I should eat well and why I should eat the right food, why I should diet. And you know what convinced me eventually? When I saw somebody dying of cancer. You see, when you eat well, it doesn't mean you will not die of cancer, God forbid and God help us, but at least you do your own part with the discipline it takes to eat well, not to eat all the bad food. It's painful, of course, but that's just 2 grams compared to the pain of eating badly and dying of cancer. That cancer is a forced pain that you will be saying million times, oh God, if I had known, I would have changed my diet long time ago. Because the pain that comes from cancer is a forced pain, is an unavoidable pain, unlike the voluntary pain of restraining yourself from eating bad stuff. So what am I saying? Pain is inevitable in life. Either you will face the voluntary pain or you will be forced to face the unavoidable, forced pain that life inflicts on people who refuse to pay the voluntary pain of self-discipline. So discipline is painful, but it's better to pay that price of pain, that price of discipline, than to pay the inevitable and forced price of unavoidable pain. So there is no way you look at it. Nobody becomes successful without self-discipline, without paying the price of discipline. So that's the next point. The price of discipline is a compulsory price. That is the difference. The price of discipline is the difference between successful people and failures. Successful people are people who force themselves to do what they don't want to do. They force themselves to pay the price of discipline. While failures, people who are losers in life, are people who are always pitying themselves. They are people who don't want to force themselves to do what they don't like. They are people who just like to do what they like, what they enjoy. They don't want to force themselves to do what is hard on them. But that's why they are failures, and that's why they are not successful. But successful people are the people who force themselves, who make themselves to go through the pain of discipline. They force themselves to do what they don't like to do, what they don't enjoy to do, but what is needed to do for them to get the result they need. So the price of discipline is inevitable for success. And if you don't want to pay that price of success, of self-discipline, then you will be forced to pay the price of regret, the price of forced pain and forced labor, the price when the life itself punishes you. Now, the next thing I want to say about discipline is that discipline does not just have to do with you controlling yourself. I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't sleep around. Discipline goes beyond that. Discipline is judging yourself, involves judging yourself, telling yourself the truth. Telling yourself the truth that, okay, I've said I will not eat that chocolate anymore before I go to bed, but you still feel like eating it when you go to bed. So if you don't admit and tell yourself the truth, you will just be eating it when nobody is seeing you. But discipline is not about other people. It's not about pleasing other people or doing things that, will make other people know that you are good or you are not good. Discipline is about judging yourself, judging your motives, judging your actions, and telling yourself the truth. That also takes discipline. Another aspect of discipline that I want to talk to you about is that discipline affects your action. Some people always say, well, I have good motives. Oh, my heart is clear, or my heart is clean. God knows my heart. Discipline goes beyond your heart. Yes, God knows your heart, thank God, but also, control your actions. Use discipline to control your action. Discipline your actions. And, behave the way that people will be able to know that your heart is clean. Next point. Discipline. One of the greatest aspects of discipline is to take responsibility on yourself. Remove responsibility for your life from other people. Remove responsibility for your life from your government. Remove responsibility for your life from your president. Remove responsibility for your life from your economy. Take responsibility for your life upon yourself. Be responsible. Take responsibility for your destiny upon yourself. Take responsibility for your progress upon yourself. Take responsibility for for your success in life upon yourself. Take responsibility for your own personal change upon yourself. Stop blaming people. Stop blaming circumstances. Stop blaming enemies. Stop blaming Satan. Stop blaming demons. Stop blaming God. Stop blaming things. Just begin to take responsibility. That also takes discipline. It takes responsibility to judge yourself. Also, it takes discipline to judge yourself. It takes discipline also to be responsible, to take responsibility for your life and for the life around you, for the society around you, for your family, for your country. It takes discipline to take responsibility for your country, for other people. So discipline takes responsibility. Now, also, discipline requires analysis, continuous self-analysis. The part of discipline is to always analyze yourself. Where am I good? Where am I not so good? Where am I weak? Where am I strong? Where have I failed? Where have I succeeded? What are the things where I'm strong in? Where are the things where I'm weak? Continuous self-analysis is also part of discipline. Then, next aspect of discipline is continuous self-education. Self-education, self-improvement, changing yourself, improving yourself, studying more, adding value to yourself is also part of self-discipline. So discipline involves self-improvement, education, continuous. So that's also part of discipline. Now, but one other very important aspect of discipline is the ability to discipline yourself to rightly use your resources, to rightly channel your resources. So the discipline of how you spend your time, the discipline of who you associate yourself with, the discipline of creating the right environment for yourself, the discipline of looking for the people you need and who could teach you, the discipline of managing your resources. Maybe you know how to study, maybe you know how to read, maybe you know how to be a good engineer, a good doctor, a good professional. They take discipline to manage those resources that God has given you. It takes discipline to manage your energy, your time, your money, your family, your opportunities. So the ability to discipline yourself in managing the resources that God gives you is also another aspect of discipline. Another aspect of this, another part of discipline that I want to talk to you about today is discipline over your thought life. So for example, personally, I have decided that I will only have 5 areas of thought in my life. I don't want to think about because if you are going to be thinking about everything happening around you, the scandals, the rumors, the lies, the news, whatever people are talking about, you are going to go crazy. Your emotions will just be going up and down like this. You'll just be fluctuating. You'll be at the mercy of news. You'll be at the mercy of elements of the world. You'll be at the mercy of what is happening. So I took upon myself the decision to think only on 5 topics. So only anything that relates to those 5 topics I think about. Only what relates to those 5 topics I spend my time on. Only what relates to those 5. Those are my 5 priorities in life. Apart from that, I don't even bother to think about them. I just remove them from my mind. I focus my mind and my life on those 5 things. I don't want to waste my life on any other thing. And maybe one day I will talk to you about the 5 things that I think about, that I spend my life and I focus my life on. So have some topics like that have put a wall around your mind, around your brain. If you don't discipline your mind, you can go crazy. Your mind will just be, different emotions will just be coming to you on a daily basis. You will not even know what to believe or what to do anymore. Next thing that I think discipline involves is that discipline involves the ability to do the right thing at the right time. So you discipline yourself. You try and discipline yourself. It will not always work out. We are not superhuman. There is no superhuman on earth. And you are not a god. Even Jesus himself faced some challenges when he was here on earth. Because for example, he lost it in that temple and took out his whip and whip all the silly out of the people. So life is challenging. Life is tough. So we will not always say we can guarantee that we'll behave right at all times. Nobody can guarantee that, but at least you try. So discipline involves trying your best to do the right thing at the right time. Then, the final thing, because I've not even read your comments, my God, time is good. I'm talking too much. I'm sorry for that. Another aspect of discipline that I will talk about is that this is also one of the most important aspects of discipline, the discipline to pursue your goal and pursue your agenda, your purpose in life. You have to always discipline yourself to focus on pursuing the goal and the agenda that God has set before you. To say no to every other thing, the discipline to say no to every distraction and pursue your goal and purpose is a key one for you to be successful in life. Well, that's all now. You can go and listen to it again because you think you have heard me, but you need to listen to this many times before it could really help you. Well, who is there? Let me greet George Patrick is saying on spot, Pastor. You know what I want to do? As I'm going to be reading your comments, will you do one thing for me and for others? Let's show a sign of love to people who are not aware of this program. Let's share this link with as many people as we can. Can you do one thing? Go back to your front page, to your timeline, and press the share button. If you don't have the share button, maybe you are using telephone or you are using one of these mobile device, you might need to go back to your timeline and press the share button. Okay, and if you have the share button right there now, just press it. This might be a life changer. It might be a life changer for a lot of people. I mean, this topic. So please go ahead and and share it with somebody else. Arinze, bless you. Obina, bless you. Fumilayo, bless you. Unkiru said, oh, Pastor Boss said, Adelaja is a great woman of God. I learned a lot. That's my wife. I learned a lot by just watching two of you live your lives, not to talk of the wisdom you carry and share freely. That is my best lady writing. That's my best lady writing, Kiru. I learned a lot. Okay. Everything I do today is credit to you both. My book, Found by Grace. Oh, that's your book. Made me cry. It made me cry, Kiru. It made me cry. My book, Found by Mercy, that is changing lives today. The group Women of Double Honor that I lead, and many other things are all credit to you. Most of all, you have taught me to love people. Oh my God, the way you love people is infectious. Thank you, Nkiru, for telling the truth to people today. Sheung says, discipline involves doing the right thing at the right time. Pursue your goal and purpose in life. Osagi says, the 5 things that you think about. Oh, you want to tell you the 5 things I think about? Then you have to be coming back to this daily broadcast all the time. One day I will talk about it, believe me. So please go and share the message. Go and share the message. George Patrick says, on spot, Pastor, discipline our thought lives, every blessing. Samuel Rogers says, wow, true, sir. I deactivated most news channels recently and disconnected from sources that don't add value to my life. After that, my consistency in discipline became better. Thank you for the reminder. Formulario says, please do not let us, okay, do let us know the 5 things later, Pastor. Okay. It's good to take a step like a discipline, a lack of discipline like you. Okay. Mondila says, it's true, discipline yourself. Yes, Fabrice is saying, please, Apostle, talk about your 5. Okay, my God, that will come one day. That will come one day. Don't worry about it. Lola says, I must pay the price of discipline in my life. Magnus, Pastor Magnus, long time. Through discipline, you can maximize your potential. Yes. Right. Okay, what are we saying again? Ashton is here. East Grace is here. Sheung says, take responsibility to judge your steps. Stop shifting blames on others. Yes. Nicholas said, discipline is doing the right thing at the right order. Right. Okay. Omololu said, I've already shared it from New York. Wow. New York. That is like, it's almost 3:30 in your place now. Or 4 o'clock even. Samuel says, absolutely, sir. Take responsibility for yourself. Fabrice says, yes, discipline goes beyond our heart, the sense of our self-responsibility. Magnus says, discipline is not about other people, but by judging yourself. Okay. Ninti Kambe, Mashu, Olowo say the price of discipline is the difference between success and failure. Yes, Apostle Victor say discipline is the price we pay today for the comfort and greatness of tomorrow. That is so true. Fabrice, Joshua, Patrice, Williams, Samson Femi says, good morning, Pastor. Thanks for this sermon. I have seen change in my life and wish my family thought that I am just strange since I started listening to your message. Yeah, it's good for them to think that you are strange, but for you to be great than to be ordinary like them. I have been challenged, and sometimes when few times when this word hit me, tears come rolling from my eyes because it rattles my ideology. I noticed change is not easy, but need to take it when I'm young now to have a better future. I'm blessed by your message, sir. That is Samson Femi. Blessings to you. Basil says, you are the greatest. Oh, thank you. Eberebe says, we have to pay the price now. Joe Love said, discipline, yes. Wow. Sandra Mesky, Dele Benjamin says, 1 Corinthians 9:7, but I keep under my body, yes. We have so many things that we have written about. Wow. I might not be able to read all this. I think every one of us could read the rest later on. Edward says, Harrison, it is an awesome moment with you, sir. Thanks for this powerful, explosive, life-changing message. Thank you. Fleur says, thank you, Pastor. Your testimony blessed me too much. God bless. Okay. Rose says, amen. Pastor, thanks for teaching us all about discipline. Staying focused. Stay blessed. Amen. Please help me to pray for faith. God bless. From the Philippines. In Jesus' name, I release the blessings of God upon you, Rose. Then Jumi says, what a day. This is what I need at this crucial time of my life and destiny. I must put my body under subjection and press to the mark of the high calling. Discipline is really the highway to success. I'm so blessed to be a part of this daily doors. Now I know there is no excuse for success. So the motto is either I succeed or either I succeed. Okay, either I'm a success or I succeed. I think. Nick said, thank you, Pastor. You inspire me from New Zealand. Thank you. Amy said, discipline makes a disciple. That's right. Wow. Fumi said, I realized I need to work on myself. Okoro said, discipline is the key to success. I will focus only on things that matter. Glory says, thanks, Pastor. God will continue to give you wisdom. I'm from Germany. Farai says, this is very relevant. Adebayo says, good morning, that's Lanon Adebayo. Good morning, my beloved mentor. Thank you for teaching us on factors in fighting indiscipline in my life. You are a great blessing to the whole world. I love you, sir. Lima says, thank you very much. This is just the thing I needed to hear from Brazil. David says, bless you, sir. This is awesome message. Keep it up, sir. With this, you are showing us that you are a disciplined man. Thank you. No, I'm trying. Nobody can beat himself in the breast and say he's done the best. Busayo said, thank you very much, Pastor. I needed this message. Okay. Shike says, awesome. Learned a lot from your exhortation. Okay, well, that's about all for now because Ola Sunshine says, I'm really blessed. This message will move my life forward tremendously. I will share it. Bishop Patrick says, great words of advice. God bless you greatly. Well. Let's come back tonight. Tonight we are going to come back. Actually, today is a special day here for me in Ukraine. I am graduating some of I do mentorship program, not just I do mentorship program for those of you who know about that on online. That is on SundayAdelajablog.com. Mentorship program online. But apart from my online mentorship program, I also have mentorship program that I do live, that I do not online, but live here in Ukraine. So I get members of my church that are really desperate, that are really hungry for success, and I train them for a year. Every year I do that. So I have 800 students that I train every year like that. So today is the graduation of my students. And so they are going to come to me here at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. our time, Ukraine time. That is like 12 p.m. British time, 12 p.m. Nigerian time. And that's probably like 7 a.m. Eastern time in America, I guess. So I'm going to show you some of that. I'm going to try to transmit live the meeting that I'm going to be having today with my students, so I think since you are my mentees as well, you are watching me, I think you might be interested in following the work and I'm working live with my mentees here today. So it's going to be a long meeting. It might last for another 2-3 hours from 2. So if you have time, get ready for that one. But apart from that, I hope to still come back to you. Today today is Saturday, so we have Ask Pastor Sunday. That is a program that I do every Saturday, and that is totally different. It's answering questions every Saturday at 8 p.m. Ukraine time. So that is like 7 p.m. Central European time and 6 p.m. British time and Nigerian time, and it's 1 p.m. Eastern time in America, sorry. And then apart from that, I still plan to come back to you at 9 o'clock to do my live review of this subject, because this subject is so important. We must review it for sure. It's so important. It's very important. So I will probably come back to you tonight as well at 9 my time, which is 7 p.m. British time and Nigerian time, and 8 p.m. Central European time, and 2 p.m. Eastern time in America. So it's going to be an incredibly busy day for me. Right now, I'm going to another meeting at 11. It's in the next 30 minutes. And then at 12, I have another meeting again. So 1 hour, every hour I have another meeting. Then at 1 o'clock, my mentees begin to come. And then 2 o'clock we started. And I will do that till 7 o'clock when I begin to prepare for the life mentorship. The Ask Pastor Sunday program. And immediately after that, that finishes at 9. Then immediately after that, I come and do the life review with you. So that's like my day is. That's the way my day is every day. Every day. Every day. No break. No break. Working 18 hours, 20 hours a day. And I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. So God bless you. Well, I thought I should just share that with you, if I can encourage somebody. God bless you. God bless you. And nice to have you. Please go and share the message. I beg you. Go share it. It might be a blessing to some people. Make sure you share the message. Make sure you share the link. 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 That's a discipline. Discipline yourself and go and share the link. God bless. Bye.